Alright, man. I'm gonna do this video. Jermell Charlo and Terrence Crawford, man. What makes this a bad fight for Crawford? But before I do that, you guys to know you gotta know who Terrence Crawford is before I get into it. It's a lot of people is into fan shit. It's fan shit, but they're not a fan of what's going on really inside the ring. They're a fan of the personality. They like to argue nonsense back and forth. They into I want to be right, like a little girl. I want to be right and all that type of shit. I want to be right. I don't give a fuck am I right. I just want to be correct about what I'm talking about. I just want to be accurate about what I'm trying to say. So right now we're looking at Terrence Crawford. What makes Terrence Crawford who he is one thing I was talking about with Earl Spence. Earl Spence would have to be able to keep making adjustments on his game and keep adding different wrinkles to his game and be able to change things up inside the round to beat Terrence Crawford. You're not going to beat Terrence Crawford just coming forward and going to the body like he does the other fighters. It's not going to work with Terrence Crawford. I believe he's going to be able to steal a lot of rounds and get some shots in. And I'm gonna tell you why. Terrence Crawford get hit sometimes. And right now, this is why Terrence Crawford get hit sometimes. Terrence Crawford is not the type of fighter that will sit on the outside. Sometimes Mayweather will sit on the outside and he'll watch you make mistakes. And then sometimes Mayweather will stay on the outside. He will come in behind his high guard and change. He will change looks or different stances to make you make mistakes. But with Terrence Crawford, he doesn't do that. With Terrence Crawford, he don't change his looks like that. Sometimes he just give you a different look by coming in. Sometimes he'll try something to counter you. And sometimes when he trying to counter you, that gets Terrence Crawford hit. But he don't stop trying to break you down. He always trying to physically break you down, find out what you doing in the ring, and come up with a counter. And sometimes the counters don't work. And that's when you see Terrence Crawford getting hit. It's not that he's lazy on defense or he's such a slow starter. He loses a defensive assignment. I don't believe that's the case. I believe he's trying different counters. And sometimes to counter you. And though all the counters he try don't work, but that don't discourage Terrence Crawford for trying to counter you. He might try to slip on the outside and catch you with a punch. And then that may not work. Then he'll try to slip on the outside and catch you with another punch. That may not work. It may not be the third or fourth try, but it won't stop Terrence Crawford for trying. And if he's unsuccessful from the right side, he'll turn to the left side and does the same thing over and over and over again before he gets down till he gets down all your moves. That's why it's not good to. If you try to change rhythms, if you do it 3 times, okay, he will break your rhythm with his long jab to break your rhythm up so you won't try to be able to change rhythms and get shots on him. He always does that. He good at changing. Okay, now let's see this guy. Now this guy kind of smart. He broke rhythm himself because Terrence Crawford, he know Terrence Crawford looking to break his rhythm up with his jab. Now the guy he's trying to come forward. Terrence Crawford, he tried something. Terrence Crawford bust him up by putting a jab in his face. And then he moved around, make the guy reset. Okay, these are some of the things that give you a little history on Terrence Crawford. But what would make this so difficult against Jermell Charlo is Jermell Charlo is not going to do all that stuff. Jermell Charlo he's going to look at him with his high guard and rush in from trying to sweep the power He gonna try to come in between Terrence Crawford guard, left or right, through his hard jab. And he's not gonna change up that game plan. And I believe he can get caught because Charlo catches a lot of punches with his gloves. He catches a lot of punches with his gloves. And by Crawford trying so many different ways to counter, he probably only had one mistake to make against Charlo. And if one of those things, everything he have to do against Charlo will have to be perfect because he gonna wind up getting hit with a shot that he don't see and become for a big strong guy like Charlo. These are not the mistakes that you want to make. And I believe that style, Terrence Crawford style, will be very terrible for a person like Charlo. It's not his game to run around the ring and trying to win on points against a big guy like Jermell Charlo. I don't believe that is in his DNA. I believe he will try to challenge him, not physically, but mentally, but by trying to counter him different ways. And I believe these shots will get him caught more times than not. I believe while he's on the outside figuring up, I believe his long jab can be doing good if he could stay on the outside for a long time. But I believe that also would be a problem with Charlo because Charlo is not just going to sit there and let you play on the outside. He's not going to sit around and let you play on the outside all day. He's going to double jab. He's going to double jab. Sometimes he's going to triple jab. Sometimes he's going to feint the jab and shoot in. Sometimes he's shooting with the uppercut. Sometimes he's just shooting straight with the right hook. And I believe Terrence Crawford, by him being so small, him getting caught with these, he's going to get dropped a number of times trying to counter this guy because you never know which way Jermell Charlo is coming in. But he's going to rush in. Sometimes he may take 3 or 4 rounds off, but then he going to rush in. I believe it's a very dangerous fight for somebody that's a natural 140-pounder going up against a really probably a natural 160-pounder. I don't believe that Crawford will have enough opportunities to make mistakes trying to figure out what Jermell is going to do. I believe it would be very dangerous for him to try it. But if he's able to keep him all the way at bay and figure him out early without making a mistake, without getting caught, I don't see how that is possible. But anything is possible. But Jermell, he double jabbed and came in, boom, double jab, boom, double jab come in, boom, boom, double jab come in, boom, put you to sleep, boom, boom, boom. I can see Terrence Crawford getting hit with the same thing from a southpaw stance by just trying to counter him, just by trying to counter him. He's not like everybody else. Now, a lot of these 154-pounders, I could see Terrence Crawford figuring them out the same way, but they're not explosive and they're not as strong as this guy Charlo. You could be the better boxer against Charlo. It don't matter. He's not trying to box you all day long. He's not trying to brawl with you all day long. You're going to have to be able to get out a way of that jab all night long in his explosive attacks. That's what he do, and he dare you to be man enough to try it. If a boxer is that strong of a boxer, and you got to be a very strong boxer and a very strong person physically and mentally to beat the Charlo. A lot of people are strong boxers, but they're not strong enough physically to handle those onslaughts and those attacks. And that's the only thing I gotta say about it. Good luck to the Charlo for trying it. Good luck for Crawford if he ever try it, but I doubt it. He ever tried it against somebody of Jermell Charlo stature. This is Wood, man. I'm just letting y'all know, breaking fights down, man. Peace.